What's going on YouTube? JTJborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Robin issue number 9, Rage of the Lazarus Demon. This issue was written by Joshua Williamson, with the art style this time being done by Roger Cruz, the pencils at least, and Luis Guerrero was on colors. And I gotta say, the art this issue was fantastic, and the colors too. I know I've been praising Gleb's work on this thing, but I really liked what Roger Cruz brought to this issue in particular. The actions, the fight scenes were so visceral, the emotional moments hit where they needed to hit, and this is all around a pretty solid issue. So let's go ahead and summarize what happens in this thing, and we'll get started from there. So the issue opens up, and we have Mother Soul, who just unleashed her Lazarus demon, which killed Connor Hawke, and basically the demon needs to take on kind of a physical form. It needs to possess Connor Hawke, since he was considered the world's greatest fighter. It'll possess him, and it'll maintain control over him, and Connor Hawke will be immortal, but he'll be a vessel for the Lazarus demon. So Mother Soul's going her thing, and then Damian decides to fight the thing. And I gotta say, Damian looks like he's been hitting the gym like a machine. I mean, good God almighty, he must have learned the, what was it, the annual issue where the cover had, the secrets to Ra's al Ghul's secret to Immortal Abs. I guess he learned the secrets from Ra's, so we'll just add that there. So yeah, he's basically having a shonen anime moment. It kind of reminds me a bit of, what is it, Yu Yu Hakusho, or, Dragon Ball Z, where, Teen Gohan comes in and just, kicks a mask, or Yusuke Urameshi. So it kind of gives me those vibes there. So Damian fights the demon. Turns out, physically hitting this thing burns, so he's at a bit of a struggle. This thing, Damian gets his ass beat, which he's been getting his ass beat pretty badly in this Robin book so far. I mean, he's won some fights, but he's really come to face some superior opponents over the course of this series so far. So as he's kind of fading away, Alfred comes in, gives a little pep talk, motivation. I guess Alfred really is a ghost at this point. So Damian, he has self-doubt. He's like, I can't do it. I failed everyone, failed my family. But then Alfred reminds him, do you remember the time when your father took his first steps to becoming Batman? What was his first step? So Damian's like, okay, his parents' death, and then he went to train, and then Alfred's like, then what? And then you come to realize that Bruce ultimately wasn't succeeding. And then he had the symbol of the bat, but before all that, Alfred mentions to him that that wasn't really his first step. So Damian really has to tend to think about it. So as he's there, then you see this thing called the bell. So basically what Damian comes to learn and realize is Batman's first step to becoming Batman was that Alfred was there to help him. He went to seek some help. So Damian has to kind of ring the bell here. Then you get kind of the big moment here where Damian stands up after getting knocked down. He basically uses the blood that's been in his mouth, and he paints it around his eyes, and then he paints the R on his chest. So yeah, Damian creates his own mask and puts the Robin symbol on in his own blood, which is pretty hardcore and badass. So Damian actually steps up here as a leader. It's so much better than what was going on in his Teen Titans book. It feels more genuine, and he really takes this group of criminals, villains. Kind of some of them are lesser known. Some aren't really to the extreme of other Batman villains per se, but there are some villains here. But he really does a good job rallying the troops and steps up as a true leader, which Rose is pretty proud of. And then he basically gets everyone to fight the League of Lazarus' army. He's like, look let's not die again here. Let's work together and let's kick some ass. So basically the people who died in the first 2 rounds go and fight off Mother Soul's League of Assassins troops. And then Damian, XXL, whatever the blue guy's name was, Rose, Black Swan, Flatline, all these different characters, minus Connor Hawke, who is still recovering after the Lazarus demon ripped right through his heart. So basically we got that going on there, and they all kind of work together to fight this thing. So Damian's kind of taking off as a bit of a leader, trying to showcase, okay, let's try this. Oh, Respawn helps too. Eventually he wraps the chains around him, and he's choking the thing, but then Damian has to kind of help in, and then Flatline comes in, and then Rose comes in talking smack to the two of them, because anytime they talk or breathe in any sort of way in each other's direction, it's like, oh, what are you two flirting? You flirting? You flirting? I feel like she's doing that just to mess with them, but I mean, there wasn't really, I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't really see any flirting in this particular moment. Damian's just like, its head is the weakest, and then we take its head. Stop flirting. Or maybe that's just kind of a bit of a joke. So anyways, they all work together, wrap their chains around, and rip this thing's head off. This thing just squirts its liquid, gooey ooze and all that all over the place. So the Lazarus demon is killed off. It was only in there for a short period of time, but it took all of them as a team to stop this thing. And then they help wake Connor Hawk up. Damian goes to confront Mother Soul in a pretty awesome scene. She's like, you ruined this. You ruined everything. He's like, what do you have to say for yourself? And then we get his trademark like that he always kind of does. So Mother Soul's like, okay, that's it. It's time for you to be taught a lesson. And then she just spits fire out her mouth like she's Godzilla or something. And then Damian ends up being transported back in time to confront Ra's al Ghul and his great-grandma, obviously, and his grandmother, Sora. So, yes, Damian goes to meet Ra's al Ghul again, and he's back in the past, and the next issue they're saying is Back to the Future, so I don't know what's going on here. I honestly really didn't see this particular ending coming. Like, I would not have expected Damian to end up in the past, given the fact that they were in this whole Lazarus tournament thing. Now, based on the way this thing's going, we got the next issue, which is issue 10, and I think maybe 11 is where is kind of the aftermath of the tournament, because then March is the whole Shadow War crossover event. So, yes, we got Damian here going back to the past, and he's going to kind of confront like the Al Ghuls and more of their history. He's been doing a little bit of both, a little bit of Batman lineage, a little bit of Al Ghul lineage to kind of form himself into a bit of a hero there. But yeah, this was a pretty entertaining issue. Yeah, some of these lessons about teamwork and that, I feel like Damian's kind of already in some ways learned, but this is really kind of the first time he's doing so as a leader. Like, it really feels kind of earned. Yes, we've had stuff before, but other writers have kind of regressed things. And yeah, like there was, he was starting out in kind of a lower place in this run, given the stuff that happened before it. But I'm hoping now that please, for the love of God, I'm hoping now that after this whole Robin book, we don't go back to like where he was before. No more character regression. Let these character growth moments stick. And like I said, there's some pretty nice, impactful stuff, like the part where he takes his own blood, like makes his own little mask and puts the R on his chest, and really kind of steps up as a leader, and everybody kind of looks up to him. I thought that was a pretty good moment. I also like how proud Rose is. The artwork, like I said, by Roger Cruz is spectacular. The colors really pop. The action scenes are quite visceral. And I kept thinking to myself how this would kind of look in a bit of an animated film or like live action where they're all kind of working together to take down the Lazarus Demon. That would all be pretty cool stuff. Now, the Lazarus Demon, I feel like it did get kind of taken out pretty quickly, all things considered. But, I mean, maybe we'll get to see more of it in the next issue, or perhaps Damian has to go back in time to wipe out the original demon that seemingly has possessed his great-grandmother, because she spits some sort of like almost like breathing fire like Godzilla, like I said, to like transport him back in time. So is this the lesson he's going to be learned? I'm really confused about what's going to happen here, because Mother Soul, like, look at her, she's just vicious and mean, and like just the fact that she's like breathing some sort of fire. It should be an interesting lesson for him to learn, and I'm really curious about Damian kind of going back in time to long before he was born, even before his mom was born, and interacting with his great-grandparents. So that's probably the whole Back to the Future thing. But yes, I like the fact that he rallied the troops together to stop this Lazarus Demon. The artwork is fantastic. We definitely get to see him at kind of his low points of giving up, but the ghost of Alfred is obviously there to give him a pep talk to kind of keep pushing forward. So, you know, one thing I didn't really think about until now, as I'm kind of like reading this thing, is notice how like in the annual, both Flatline and Robin seemingly are seeing the ghosts of their grandfather-esque figures, because Alfred obviously is, you know, he's kind of Bruce's second dad, and obviously like a great-grandfather type figure to Damian, and Flatline sees her great-grandfather, and considering her great-grandfather was like KGB stuff, and the fact that Alfred was MI6, it makes me wonder if they were both involved in some sort of experiments to come back, and that's maybe where the connection is, or something like that. I don't know. It's just kind of something that was kind of crossing my mind as I was reading it, and I'm like, that'd be kind of interesting, or maybe Alfred helped him out, and that's probably what draws them together. I don't exactly know, but I feel like there's got to be some sort of connection there, that these two characters in particular are seeing like the ghostly figures of, you know, their specific grandfathers who both had spy backgrounds or something like that. But anyways, this issue was pretty great as per usual. Love the art, like I said, like the character moments and that here. If you've been enjoying this series, there's no reason you're not going to really enjoy this one. It's been a fun series. It's nice to get everyone kind of proactively involved. And it's good to see Damian stepping up more as a leader, like so much better than what was happening in those other Teen Titans books. You really do get the sense that he's there to kind of inspire people. Like, it's an inspiring moment where he, after like being at his lowest point, like has to kind of like step up and really kind of be a hero. And the fact that he's doing it with the so-called kind of criminals of, you know, the DC universe, which makes it like more interesting, because with heroes, yeah, they're gonna naturally more than likely do the right thing, but inspiring people who are more quote-unquote kind of villainous or more anti-hero-ish, not really in the best, the most noble people, I think that is actually a really good thing. That's, to me, is more inspiring. If you can inspire people who aren't necessarily in the light to do something kind of good and working together, I think that's makes it more impactful. So that's kind of where I'm at with this thing. But anyways, what are your thoughts on Robin issue number 9? Tell me them in the comments section down below. Be sure to like this video, share with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, hit that bell for notifications. That's all I have to say for right now. Thanks so much for watching this video. Be sure to sub to the channel, which we now have passed 2,000 subscribers, which is pretty awesome right before the end of the year. So I'm going to try and work on some sort of 2,000 subscriber video this week. I haven't quite decided yet, but I am actively considering different options. So that's what's up right now. Yeah, that's all I got to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Got a lot of comic book reviews coming out this week, so look forward to that. All right, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.